Listen to this episode if you feel like there is a bit of fear that is holding you back from going all in on your business journey. Today, this is going to be a pep talk episode. We haven't done one of these in a really long time. If you're new to the podcast, we have a full series of listen to this when ... If you want to search for it in the episodes, or if you go onto Instagram and go to the Small Business Growth Podcast, I'll have a playlist for it as well. One of the biggest pieces to business really is mindset. A lot of things come through when we're trying to grow our business that actually end up being mindset blocks that we have to overcome. Some of my clients, a lot of them have said that they didn't realize how much personal growth they had to do in order to see their business grow. They didn't realize how much of their own brain was actually holding them back in order for them to actually execute fully, in order to take action the way that they know that they should or the way that they want to. And that is what we're going to talk about today, is how do you know and how can you overcome your own fears in your own brains and what that really means from going all in on your business. I like to say a business journey is one of the biggest personal growth endeavors you will ever go on. Why? Because it's so incredibly personal. This is so much of our love, so much of our care, so much effort, so much time into this idea that we have that we really want to make happen. We really want it to work. It is literally creating something out of nothing, like bringing something from absolutely not even like non-existent into actually creating a community, a brand. You're making sales through it, and it's a goal that you're chasing. It is a very personal endeavor. Now, at the end of the day, I do think trying to detach personally from like your own self-worth based on how much time you're spending working on your business, as well as how much your business is actually growing, is incredibly helpful for your business. But that is the idea for another episode, and it is easier said than done. But there is a piece to our own business growth that we are actually holding ourselves back. We are actually letting our fears come in the way of the actions that we actually want to take. And I want to talk about that today. You have a dream. You are creative. You have an idea. You know people love your product. You really want to make it happen. You are a maker. You do these things and you want your products in people's homes. You want what you have to help people. You want to solve a problem for somebody. You have a big passion behind your business. You're showing up, you're doing the thing. You're so excited about it. You just want it to be as big as you know that it can be, as helpful as you know that it can be. But for whatever reason, it's still just not working for you. And sometimes you can ask yourself, like, is it your strategy? Is it like, what is it that I am doing? And at the end of the day, what dictates our business growth is actions. What dictates how our business moves, how it adapts, how it grows is the actions that we as the business owner take. Especially if you're a solopreneur and it's only you in your business right now, the actions that you take directly impact the growth that it's going to have. And so when we talk about anything with actions or habits or routines, we have to first look at our mindset and see, is there something that's holding us back? Is there a fear there? And I have worked with hundreds of business owners at this point. I talk to people about their fears, and fears are pretty similar no matter if you're making $0 in your business or you're making $250,000 a year in your business. A lot of the fears are still very similar because they really are just connected to our personal insecurities that we have. We all have insecurities somewhere, and really what it comes down to is just being able to work through your own mental blocks, your own limiting beliefs, and your own fears, and not letting them hold you back. Some of the common things that I hear is, I don't like the business side of business. I'm afraid of what people will say. I'm afraid of failure. I don't feel like I'm worthy of actually making, $100,000, $150,000 a year in my business. And you have these fears pop up. And because you have those fears, it actually stops you from taking action. So I kind of want to go through the list of the common fears that I have here next to me, and I want to kind of break them down with you and speak to them. And then they kind of basically manifest into being excuses that you have. So, a lot of people say, I'm afraid of what people will say about me. So then you say, I don't really have the time for this right now, or I don't know enough in order to do this. I haven't proven that this business is worth it yet in order to go all in. People will say, and when I say all in, it just means you are relentlessly chasing this goal. You are relentlessly diving after this next step of your business. No matter what pops up, you are doing it. You are committing to the goals. You're posting consistently. You're going to learn the strategy. You are doing whatever it takes in order to make it happen. That's what I mean by going all in. You are going all in on this being your full-time job, on this being the financial freedom that you deserve, because truly financial freedom is something that you can build for yourself. And I might be a little bit biased, but this day and age, I think building your own business is the surefire way of financial freedom in 2024. And so I kind of want to just talk about these and really bring them up of just how absolutely ridiculous some of our fears can be. And I don't say that to mock you. I don't say that to push this in your face of your fears don't matter. I just want to really break down why, the most common fears that I hear, and really talking about what is the validity behind it. Is there any fact behind those feelings that you're telling yourself? So right now, I want you to take a second, take a deep breath, and I want you to ask yourself, what fear do I have of success? What fear do I have in my business right now that is not allowing me to go all in on the things that I really want to happen? And whether that be you have a business, whether that be you just start the profile, whether that be you really go all in on trying to build an audience, or you go all in on trying to make this $100,000 a year business, or you have these big goals to say that, I want to be in anthropology one day. What is that big goal that you have, and what kind of immediate gray darkness fear pops up of yeah, but? What is your yeah, but right now? Is it that you don't feel like you can do it? Is it that you feel like you're not cut out for it? Is it that you feel like people like you don't see success like that? Is it that you are afraid that you're going to try it and then you're going to fail and it's going to be embarrassing? Are you afraid of what people around you from high school or your parents or your husband might think of you? Is it that you don't have a support system in doing this? What is that immediate fear that pops up when I say you are going to build a business that gets you every single dream that you want, that is going to make $500,000 a year? What is that immediate fear if you go all in on this, you have these fears? And I really want you to sit with that and then ask yourself, what is the feeling behind, what is the actual fact behind that feeling? What makes you feel like that is actually going to be the case? Have you heard people judge other people before? Have people said something to you that made you feel that way? Have you seen other people fail and it scares you? Have you failed at something else? Have you never failed at anything and you love to people please your way through things, so you never do anything that's too out of your comfort zone? Are you afraid of kind of being out of control and not really knowing? Are you afraid of success? And I know that might sound crazy to some people, but I have some clients that are like, oh my gosh, Maddie, I don't feel worthy to make the amount of money that I am making. Is it just that is your deepest, rootest limiting belief, is that you are not worthy of things that are good? What really is that deeply rooted fact that you are trying to say, yes, this is what is the deeply rooted feeling that you are trying to say as fact? And I kind of want to go through these and really talk about why they are a whole load of hoo-ha, all right? There is nothing behind these that is actually going to be productive, that is true, that is actually a fact that you are trying to see. It is just your brain being not very nice to you, because that is what our brains are made to do. Our brains are made to keep us inside of our comfort zone. Our brains are made to keep us where we are as safe as possible, but nothing incredible has ever come from being as safe as possible. Everybody out there, every business owner out there will tell you that they were afraid to do it. They didn't know if it was going to work, but they did it anyway, and they keep proving themselves wrong. When I first started my blog, I didn't want to put my face out there. I didn't want people to be able to know that this was something that I was doing, because I was afraid of me not wanting to keep it going and then people thinking that I failed and thinking that, I chased after something and I just either decided not to do it or it didn't work out for me, and the judgment that that would bring. And so when I started my blog, I didn't put my face on my social media at all. And I started posting, and the moment people started realizing it was me because it was popping up on their feed and it was popping up on their explore page and I was coming up on their socials, they would send me my profile and be like, Maddie, is this you? Like, this looks like all your stuff. And it looks like, you follow this account on your personal page. Is this you? And I would be mortified. And looking back, it's so silly. Why did I care if those people could see me? And you know what was the missing piece of my blog finally starting to convert people? Was building a major personality behind me by actually showing who I was, by building a connection with them. And now we see that all the time with influencer marketing. Is like, think if your influencers that you followed never posted their face on social media, would you feel the same level of connection to them? No, probably not. What is that is holding you back? What is that major piece right now that you are saying you should be doing these things, but you aren't because you're afraid of it or you're providing yourself excuses? Is it that you should go all in on content? Is it that you need to join that program that you know is going to be so helpful for you? Is it that you are finally going to start your TikTok? Is it that you're going to do that reel series that you think is kind of weird and you're not really sure? I've heard before, and I think it's such a strong quote to use for your business growth, is it's in the things that you don't want to do that the growth oftentimes comes. It's in the things that you are avoiding. It's in the things that you're like, ugh, I don't want to do that today. I'll do that next week. That a lot of times is where the growth comes, because what you're doing and what you kind of intuitively want to do is stay safe, is stay in your own bubble, is stay doing things that is going to keep you where you are at. That's just how our bodies and our brains work, is they are trying to keep us as safe as possible where we are, because out of our comfort zone feels like danger and our body tries to avoid danger at all costs. And so what are you doing right now that your body is just telling you that you shouldn't do it because of some sort of fear that you have, some sort of insecurity? So kind of going down this list, this major one that I hear is that you don't like the business side of business. I'm not a business person, I'm a creative. And where that is the case, you also have to change your mindset around what part about it as a business owner don't you love, or as a business owner that you are starting this business so you can be creative. Don't you feel like that is just holding you back from exploring into this other piece, into actually adding the strategy, which is going to allow you to be creative for longer, for more often, where you don't have to work a 9 to 5. You get to be creative all of the time. You get to run your own business. And there's plenty of businesses out there that have other CEOs than the founder or than the artist or than the creator. Somebody else is running the business eventually. That is what you're working towards, is where you have somebody that's able to run your marketing, do your sales for you, and you just get to create. By learning the strategy now, by leaning into that business side, it's actually allowing you to be able to be more creative more often. That is a fear, it's an excuse. You just don't like the business side, so you're not going to do strategy. But by you revolting against the business side of your business, you are actually saying, that is what is going to make the difference. That's what's going to be able to make it a real business for you. So why do you not want to lean into that business side? Why do you not want to break out of kind of that creative bubble just for a little while, so you can be more creative for longer, so you can have this creative life for the rest of your life? Another one I hear is the afraid of what people say. And in my mind, in my experience now, truly being somebody that would never expect to have plastered her face all over the internet, to be using a funny little microphone right now to speak to you on camera by myself in this bus, just talking to a camera. I never would have thought I would have been somebody that had my face all over the place, that had a podcast, and that was like trying to grow a long-term, large-scale personal brand online. Why does it matter what other people have to say? The people that mind don't matter, and the people that matter don't mind. And that is something that I will say until the end of the end of time, until my very last breath, is that at the end of the day, the people that really care about what you are doing and they have something negative to say, at the end of the day, their opinion against you chasing your dreams is a them thing. If they have something negative to say about you relentlessly chasing your goals and your dreams, that is a projection of them either never doing that or them being insecure that they are never going to do something that they really want to do in their life. It has nothing to do with you. It has nothing to do with your worth. So the people that mind don't matter. The people that really care about what you're doing and they're really all up in a tizzy that you're trying to build a business, they don't matter. And the people that matter, they really won't mind. They will support you till the end of the day. Having friends that really do sit there and support you, having family, whatever that might be, they will support you. The people that really matter in your life will support you eventually. You deserve this. And if you're saying right now, Maddie, it's my parents, it's my spouse, I'm sorry that you don't have people that are supportive in your life, some of the biggest people in your life. And then at that point, you just have to find those people. You have to get into groups of people, go join masterminds, go to retreats, do things, get into Facebook groups, whatever that might be. Do things that allows you to find people that will support you. Because there is nothing inherently wrong with you chasing your dreams, with you chasing your goals. You are worthy of it and you deserve it, and it can happen for you. And the people that truly will love you, they might also just be they have their own insecurity against them chasing their dreams, against something else in their world that is a projection onto you. That is not an actual projection of who you are. It has nothing to do with you. It has everything to do with them. And that was something that I had to realize. Maddie, I was so afraid of it because what they would say. And I'm like, who cares what they're going to say? Most of the people that I would be worried about, I don't actually want to live the life that they're living, and that's okay. At the end of the day, we all are living different lives, and it's only you that gets to create the life that you want to live. The next one is that you are afraid of failure. You don't want to go all in on this and really do it and watch it not work, because that would be embarrassing. It would, you never feel like you would be able to recover from it. Whatever that might be, you feel like you might fail, and that is so scary. But every single person out there could say that they could have failed at something that they actually achieved. And honestly, in my mind, I don't know what delusional thought that I have and how it got in there is like, in my mind, there is no way of failing. If something stops working, I'm going to figure out how to make it work. If all of a sudden my podcast went away, I would figure something out. If all of a sudden my business came crashing down, I would start a new business. I would figure something else out. There is no way of failure. There is only a plan B. There's only a plan C. There's only a plan D. Especially when you know the strategy of how to do this, it allows you to be so much more confident in what you're doing, because failure isn't really an option. There's not failing. It's just, okay, this didn't work. You need to get more curious about your business as opposed to more criticism. You need to get more curious as opposed to criticize yourself as to like, this is a failure. Because when something doesn't work in your business, it's not a failure for you. It's just a reflection of something that's not working. It's a breakdown that you have somewhere that can be fixed somehow with strategy or science or mindset help, or somebody else that can really come in and make a difference there. I think a big one as well is the lack of worth of actually being successful. People like me don't actually see success. Like, nobody in my life has ever had a successful business, or nobody in my life has ever been quote unquote rich to this standpoint. They've never had this financial freedom. People like me don't see financial freedom as something that I hear. Why not? Why can't you be the first? Just because everybody else has always done something doesn't mean that you can't do something different, that you can't be successful. Look at all of these rags to riches stories out there. People that were homeless that became NFL football players, people that grew up as poor as possible to being famous and celebrities. What that takes is just believing in yourself, never quitting, and keeping on going. and realizing that you can change the outcome of your life. The outcome of your life doesn't have to be the same outcome of everybody else's life around you. So I want you to really sit and think what one of these really resonates with you. For me, your girl is a perfectionist. Your girl is an achiever. And in my life, my biggest fear is not able to achieve the things that I want to achieve. Hello, Enneagram number 3, is I'm going to die and I haven't achieved the things that I said or that I really wanted to achieve. And that is something that I have to wrestle with. That is something that pops up for me, is it's like, what if I could never achieve those things? How do I work through that? That imposter syndrome of, I don't think I'm good enough to achieve these things. The only way to break yourself through these fears is to take actions to prove to yourself a different narrative than what's in your brain right now. The only way to really break free from all of these fears and limiting beliefs is doing it anyway and prove to yourself that those beliefs are not valid. Those feelings are not fact. I listen to a lot of podcasts talking about imposter syndrome because it's something that my clients a lot of times say that they really struggle with, is they struggle with like, who am I to be a business owner? And why not you? And if that is something that really sticks with you, I know I have a lot of clients that are like, why not me? I guess you're right, Maddie. Like, why not me? Why can't you be the first that has financial freedom in your life? Why can't you be the first that's a business owner? All of these people out here that are doing it are normal people. The more that I get exposed to bigger circles, to people that have big online platforms, to people that are celebrities, to people that are influencers, most of them, at least at one point, all of them were normal people. They all have similar feelings. They all have similar fears. We all have similar things that are going on in life. Of course, there's like the person that you meet and you're like, wow, we are different people. But the vast majority of influencers, of celebrities, everybody is just a normal person. And some people got to either achieve, or they got something handed to them, or they worked their butt off to get somewhere that you can also be if you put the same level of hard work and dedication into it. Why not you? Why are you somebody that is, what is popping up for you when you see that? It's not that you don't have the time to do it. It's not that you do not have enough self-worth to do it. It's not that your business hasn't worked enough yet, that you haven't proven to yourself that it's worthy yet. It's that you personally have to just decide that this is something that you want bad enough to make it happen. This is just something that you are so enthralled and obsessed with, this idea that this could be your full-time job, that this could make you $100,000, $250,000, $1 million a year. Whatever that may be, nobody became successful from believing the feelings in their head that they were not enough to do this. You have everything you need to make it happen. You just need to start taking action on it. You just need to realize that your brain is not a very nice person very often. I call it my heat miser. I don't know why. That's just what popped into my head when my therapist one time told me to name the anxiety and the negative beliefs in your own head. And for whatever reason in my head, he looks like the heat miser. And so when I see those fears pop up, it is just the heat miser coming out and saying, this is something that you don't want. That it is just that negative little person on your shoulder saying you don't deserve this. You aren't enough for this. What if people judge you? Wow, you're being so weird. And you get to say, heat miser, not today. I'm doing the dang thing anyway. And I listened to a podcast episode with Alex Hormozy the other day, and he was saying, who's like this big business tycoon guy. And he was talking about imposter syndrome. And he said, yeah, of course, every single day I show up with my, million followers. I'm like, how did I deserve this? And you know how I trained my brain out of that? Is I did the dang thing anyway. When I first started posting, every single day he was posting reels. He was talking about how to grow a business, talking about how to whatever he was talking about at the very beginning of his journey. He said, who am I to tell people this thing? Who am I to sell this? Who am I to try to start this thing? And he said, the only way that you can train your brain otherwise is to do the dang thing anyway. And to do it and to relentlessly take action for it and to say, heat miser, not today. But today I am doing it anyway, and you prove to yourself, wow, I was wrong then, I'm probably wrong now. And eventually your brain is just like, I can do anything that I push myself to do. I can do anything that I work hard enough to do. And that imposter syndrome and these fears go away. But the first step to going all in on your business and to say goodbye to these fears is to sit down and say it's not worth it. What actions have I been putting off? What things have I been saying I don't want to do? What things have I been saying I'll do next week for the last 6 months because it's something that I am holding myself back from doing because I'm afraid of doing it, because I'm afraid of, what people might think if I actually take time to post really high quality reels, or if I hire that business coach to help me do this, what will people think? If my business becomes successful, if I really start putting my face out there, what will people think? Or whatever that fear is for you, you're going to put that behind you. What are the actions that you would take if none of it mattered? And start taking those actions, doing those things. That is really how you start to see that success and how much sooner your business growth will go. And I'll tell you a quick story, the short version, and in the next couple of months, I'll probably dive into it a little bit more. But the story I told myself for a really long time was that anytime I didn't feel like working, my body wanted rest. Anytime I didn't feel like doing something or I started to procrastinate, my body wanted rest, and rest meant for me to literally sit in this bed that you were looking at and do nothing. And one day I realized, and I would blame it on my hormones, and my hormones are kind of whack, I'm not going to lie. They are a little whack, but I've really drastically fixed my hormones, drastically fixed them through diet and lifestyle for the last 2 years of it being a major focus for me. But any day that I didn't really feel like doing something, it would be noon and I'd be like, I'm kind of foggy. It must be my hormones. I should just rest. And I almost built so much balance in my life that I could do that, but it came at the cost of me actually relentlessly chasing things, because the minute I would do what I had to do in my business was still growing, so it was okay, but it stopped me from actually taking those big audacious actions. And I woke up one day and I was like, what the heck, Maddie? You have just excused yourself into not really working for the last couple of weeks because you feel like you haven't felt okay. And it was my brain trying to keep me where I was. And these last 2 weeks, I have said, absolutely not. These are my big goals and I am going to chase them no matter what it takes. And I started to map out a journey. I started to figure it out. I started to make a plan for when I felt low energy, what I was going to do instead. And that doesn't mean that when I actually need rest, I'm not resting. But it means that when I want rest, I'm going to go for a walk. I'm going to go for a hike. I'm going to go. If you're watching on YouTube, my dog just perked up when I said go for a walk. I'm going to go do something that is productive or that is restful that I enjoy doing, and I'm going to come back and I'm going to will myself into, yes, Maddie, you can still do something. You can still keep showing up. It's not an excuse every single time that you don't want to work that you don't have to. It's holding you back. It was my own brain saying, stay where you are, that these next steps are going to be too big. These next business growth steps are going to be who are you to want a bigger business than you already have? And I had to work my way through that. And that's what inspired me to talk about this today. I'll get more into that. But these last 2 weeks, I have solidified collaborations that I couldn't imagine. I have solidified new podcast guests. I have signed more clients in these last 2 weeks than I've signed in the month before it. And it was just because I decided to say, Maddie, what the heck have you been doing? Heat miser, go away. That is just me trying to hold myself back. I'm going to keep going. I'm going to keep building. I'm pushing through those fears. And my business has already started to grow in crazy lengths in 2 weeks. And I'm so excited to end these next 4 months and what is going to happen this year? How am I going to go into 2025 with even a bigger business? And you can do that too. If any of these things are holding you back, or if you are like, Maddie, I really want support, I am really needing more strategy. I know I've been needing to go all in on learning a strategy. I would love to support you through that. I have plenty of programs that can help you out with that. While this episode is going out, there is just a few days left of enrollment for the final round of my signature program, Product to Profit of 2024. If you are looking to get to consistent sales, go all in on your social media, on your sales strategy, go all in on your business, and really have the support from me, because it's a workshop style program where you and I are working really closely together, one-on-one, as well as learning in a group setting. You get to meet people that are going to support you, that can be long-term friends of yours that are also building a business just like you want to build, as well as you get me in your corner for these 3 months to help you build that to go all in. PTP is open for enrollment for just a few more days. You can DM me on Instagram, PTP, and we can chat from there. My handle is at This Is Madison Page. We can make sure it is a perfect program and a perfect opportunity for you. As well as if you have any questions, as always, feel free to reach out. You are so worthy of success. You are so worthy of all of the dreams that you want to happen for you. Now it's just on you to tell yourself that you are worthy, that you need to start taking actions as if that is the case. Let's do this dang thing. I cannot wait to support you. If you're looking for support, PTP is the perfect place. It really is the place that dozens of business owners have been able to quit their 9-to-5. Dozens of business owners have hit their first 6-figure year from what they learn inside of PTP, and how you can kind of keep developing that from there. This is my signature program. It's the program I think every business owner should know the information in and take to get you to those next big results in your life, in your business, to go all in and chase those dreams. I hope you have a wonderful day. I hope this was helpful for you. I hope this was the pep talk that you need. I hope that you are really feeling inspired. I want you to think about the actions that future you would take. That future you that is looking back, that is making $500,000 a year in your business. I want her, what is she looking back and saying, I am so glad that they did that? What would she be doing? What would she be thanking you for? And you need to start doing that thing. No matter what that is, if it's content, if it's you're starting a podcast, if it's starting a YouTube channel, if it's going all in on Reels, all in on TikTok, doing the new product line, whatever that might be, I hope that you dive in for it. You have a wonderful day. I love you. I'm rooting for you. I'm in your corner always. If you have nobody else to support you, you always have me. And I'm really rooting for you in this endeavor.